Greetings. Hello, my name is Kaylin, and welcome to my channel where we discuss, break down, and recommend movies and TV shows and occasionally other forms of media. Now that I got that quick little intro out the way, now let's get into the over-review. Starting now. What does the story of Anne Boleyn mean? Behind the Shakespearean-level tragedy or the steamy melodrama, a long line of events plagued with irony, tyranny, and even more tragedy, changing the face of an entire country for centuries to come. Behind it all, what does this singular story of this woman mean at the end of the day? I pondered this for a long time, a constant shower thought. To me, the story of Anne Boleyn thematically is a microcosm of unchecked extreme patriarchy. Yes, I'm going there. If you don't believe or are sick and tired of the word patriarchy, then please leave and dismantle the system or kick rocks. I'm tired. This is a reminder of why we still need feminism despite the constant harassment, gaslighting, and the negative memification, because the entirety of Anne Boleyn's story is mostly about how patriarchy can twist the lives of women, how clever the system is to ruin any type of unification between women and pit women against one another to compete for men who deserve to stir dirt in a saucepan. How callous it is to treat people like they're nothing more than walking wounds and objects for gratification, and how extreme patriarchy can justify killing women for just about anything. It's about a woman who was pushed in a situation that she may or may not have wanted. We don't know because how she and other women felt at the time didn't matter. Their entire worth was based on whether or not you can produce a boy. If you lived or died almost didn't matter because you fulfilled your one job. If that child lived to be an adult. I feel like most portrayals of Anne Boleyn focus on making the relationship between her and Henry this steamy, bad romance and overlook some major revelations. Like how disposable the lives of women were to men like Henry, how someone like him could just detach himself from his humanity because he didn't get his way, take away a mother from her child, how he was such a baby about everything. He couldn't even try to make things work out in any of his marriages. How men like him who do not know how to love someone or show compassion unfortunately get put in high positions of power and wreak havoc. He was too callous to show mercy to the woman he claimed to love, but in the end, it was much easier for him to resort to murder to get rid of her. And that's terrifying. His way of thinking is still prevalent today. Like, how many times have we heard news stories of men murdering their significant other because it was an easier solution for them in their minds? Like Chris Watts, who annihilated his entire family for selfish reasons, like getting with his mistress and starting a new life without any baggage. Sounds familiar. That's what I was hoping for the show, was to critique and explore patriarchy and how it harms all women and even a lot of men. And you could use other races to symbolically address how it affects a wide range of people and utilize color conscious or colorblind casting a lot more strategically. The show was on the right track to give a more thoughtful, nuanced, and hecka uwu ballsy new interpretation that we haven't seen before. But does the show do that? I mean, in places, yes, but not enough. The show does display the horror, the stress, and the tragedy of what patriarchy can do to a woman, but the writing is still simplistic and doesn't deconstruct enough. The series seems to focus more on experiencing the emotions from a singular point of view rather than exploring high concept themes. There are a lot of close-ups on Anne's face, and Jodie Turner-Smith's acting shows a wide range of emotions going through the character's head. The show seems more quiet and more voyeuristic. You never stop seeing Anne's isolation, her insecurity, her rage, and her pain. You don't follow other characters as intensely as Anne. People around her are mostly at a distance with good visual storytelling displaying Anne's growing detachment from everyone, except for Henry, who completely dominates every part of her. The man who was supposed to be her true love, her friend, her protector, is the direct cause of her demise, and she can't escape him. She can no longer be free with her speech or emotions, no longer a person, but a symbol of power, a symbol of Protestantism, a symbol of a dutiful wife, and a symbol of morality, but also a symbol of ruin, ambition, and desire from her enemies. And it's not bad direction. I understand the choice of a quiet approach. It doesn't distract with glamour. It lays everything bare so you can feel the raw emotion. Now, I don't think Anne Boleyn with Jodie Turner-Smith is a masterpiece. The series is very flawed. It's rushed. The first and last episode was pretty weak, and a lot of the writing, especially with some characters, is simplistic. But then again, it's only 3 episodes, so it's not enough time to dig deep into characters. And some of the treatment shown against Anne Boleyn in episode 3 was a little unnecessary and very triggering to me. The show needed more episodes to allow characters besides Anne to grow. Also, I didn't think they went far enough with the colorblind casting. I was expecting more like Bridgerton or Hamilton, where all people under the sun were invited, like, yo, everyone, get in here. Get in on this action. Everyone, you want to make people mad? Get in here. It was disappointing to me because they already made such a ballsy decision to race swap multiple characters who are based on famous European historical figures. I have a feeling they knew it would cause a stir. You might as well should have gone crazy and packed as many people of color in every single mise-en-scène. Just saying, that's what I would do. Because I am spiteful like that. There were so many things that I wished the show went further on and made better choices, like having more episodes or maybe 2 seasons, starting with Anne's upbringing to her execution, taking out or reworking some characters like Cromwell. Even though I like Madge and Elizabeth, I feel their slot should have been filled with focusing on Anne's other family members, like her father, Thomas Boleyn, who's a significant part in Anne's life because, the dude's her father, obviously. But also, there's no other way to put it. Thomas Boleyn basically pimped out his own daughters, Anne and Mary, for his own ambition. And it's crazy to me that they didn't include the father, because he's a huge reason why all of his children got screwed. And also include Mary Boleyn. I know Mary was basically put out by the family in the last months of Anne Boleyn's life, but thematically, Mary Boleyn is and has always been a great foil to Anne. Adding Mary works better in a narrative sense than Madge and Elizabeth. Mary would be the person Anne can totally let her guard down and freely express her thoughts about her horrible relationship with Henry, because Mary has been there and done that. It also would have driven home the loss and grief the end will be, because you're losing a close family member in a horrific way and you have limited time with them. It also would have been nice to see the whole Boleyn family maneuver for power, and how these aristocratic noble families are complicit in a system that robs women and girls of their autonomy for mostly financial gain. It would have added more complexity to Anne's situation and addressed the systematic issues that also came into play. But despite the major flaws, personally, I still liked it. I didn't love it. I vibed with it. You can acknowledge that something is average or flawed and still like it. You can say what you want about Jodie Turner-Smith, but she ate that screen up and elevated material that was not great. Mostly because of her, I was invested. And I almost cried, but I couldn't because I was at my desk job. And can we also talk about, for a second, can we also talk about how Jodie Turner-Smith just glows? Like, she glows. And she just like, yep, it's like, woman, you glow. Like, how do you glow and just be okay? I'm sorry, how can you look at someone who looks like her and be mad? I'm not mad. I am thankful for her essence, beauty. God literally said, amen. Hallelujah. Praise God. When they created her to grace our average existence. Oh man, she's beautiful. The production of the show was effective enough in what they were trying to do, which is to create an emotional, more subdued tragedy of a woman who was majorly screwed by everyone. And I like how it showed women not really uplifting each other, but also not really going out of their way to hurt one another. Except for Jane Rochford, but this iteration of her is trash. I'm sorry. I like most of the dynamic between Anne Boleyn and Jane Seymour. That took time to complicate the relationship between them. In the end, they don't hate each other. They acknowledge that they're in a time where women can't win no matter what. They're stuck and can't do anything significant except small acts of kindness. The show was on the right track. Like, it was getting somewhere. It was trying. But the writing faltered into a narrative that we've seen before and done better. But if you want to have a quick tutor fix, that's not much commitment. It's interesting enough, and the acting from Jodie Turner-Smith and others will keep you afloat until Starz continues on with their Philippa Gregory streak and make another adaptation of The Other Boleyn Girl with your white people, specifically Game of Thrones Illuminati. And hopefully, eventually, we'll get a series about Anne of Cleves or Anna von Cleve, because the world has been sleeping on our favorite sheltered German princess who held herself out of marriage from King Henry the Douche. I said what I said. So what really fascinated me about the show was the controversy surrounding it. So much so that I made an entire video dedicated to the casting choices, and the reception have been exactly what I predicted. And it was great. God, it was great. It was everything I wanted and so much more. People were so mad about a miniseries that clearly, bluntly, very bluntly, super bluntly said, we don't care about historical accuracy. We're just here to vibe. I knew it was gonna ruffle feathers. While researching for the other video, I stumbled onto a video, Why Are Period Films White by The Guardian, and that got disliked the house as well, just for pointing out, hey, people of color were living in pre-modern Europe. That's it. That is all the video said. All that video said was that Europe was not as monolithic racially as we thought. That there was a portion, yes, a small portion of people of color, but they were there, contributing and just hanging out, just chilling, doing stuff, just existing. They existed. And it's important to acknowledge that. So to, create unity with other groups of people, to create a more diverse kinship, acknowledge POC legacies in Europe, and most importantly, be more honest. And that video got slammed for just saying simple facts, just for saying, why can't Black Europeans or other ethnic groups who reside in Europe engage in a history that is also theirs? My history is a mixture of African history and American/Western history. It's not one, it's an interconnected hodgepodge of many cultural histories. And it's like that with many people of color who live in other countries that are not their ancestral origin. A lot of us learn and grow up with multiple sides of history. British history also belongs to Jodie Turner-Smith and other people of color who live in the UK either for just one generation or multiple generations. Jodie Turner-Smith's parents are originally from Jamaica, but she was born in the UK. She had to sit in classrooms and learn the history and assimilate into the country she was born in. British history is part of her, so why can't she engage in the history, especially a history that's dominant and not a threat of real erasure? Cause white Western history is doing just fine. Everyone who is not a cis white male is still oppressed. I also found other videos where people talked about Black history that's not specifically about slavery and civil rights. And those videos also got scrutinized just for saying people of color are everywhere in history. And how dare we talk about it and give people of color from the past their acknowledgments of merely existing? Like, how dare we talk about Black people who also fought in World War I and II, or people of color in the Middle Ages? Like, how dare we explore the parts of Black history that's not civil rights or slavery every once in a while? How dare we? My dear, sweet dumpling, my sweet summer child, darling, sweetie pie. History is not clear-cut. It's messy. It's vast. My only regret is the naming of my video about the casting controversy. Instead of historical accuracy is a myth, I should have said the argument of historical accuracy is hypocritical and a myth. Cause, be honest, people crying over historical accuracy, especially for white Western history, don't really care about historical accuracy in the media. It's all about presenting a particular image, a powerful, orderly, and all-white image. The amount of inaccuracies in this genre of media that y'all just let slide is amazing. Like, y'all allow Philippa Gregory to make millions based on nothing but lies with her historical fictional Tudor history books and shows. Like, remember in The White Queen, there was witchcraft that worked? Magic! Literal magic! Elizabeth Woodville in the show The White Queen was basically an X-Men. Nothing. Y'all got nothing to say about that? Since y'all care about historical accuracy, cancel all period pieces. All of them. Even the good ones. Even the great ones. Cause here's the thing. I'm a Libra. I believe in fairness and equal treatment. If you're going to dogpile on Channel 5 and Boleyn, then you better WWE jump on everyone else that also did not pass the accuracy test, which is every single period piece. Because like I said before, this type of media is not entirely here to give you a history lesson. They're here to entertain. The fact that how mad a lot of you guys are over something that is not going to pay your bills or have your crush call you back is it's astounding. Get hydrated. Keep typing in the comments that MLK can be played by Brad Pitt. Cause when you make comments like that, you know you don't care about fairness. You just want to fight. You just want Black people and everyone in between to get upset. I want you to know, dear the then white actors should play so-and-so POC historical figures. Commenters, I want you to know, if that scenario happens, well, one, it already happened, and also, okay, and go ahead, do it, go ahead. I'm waiting for that GoFundMe, please. If you strongly think that should happen, go ahead. Don't look at Twitter. Don't look at Twitter. Don't let that Twitter mob or any social media platform stop you. The Channel 5 and Boleyn got slammed on all sides, and it still came out. Now, why is that? I don't think it's because of the double standard. Y'all are quick to get out your pitchforks against people of color if they get so much of a crumb of opportunity. So how is this show able to see the light of day? You know good and well that white Western history is not being threatened. White Western history is doing just fine. It's doing exactly what it was intended to do, which is embolden one group to believe that they are superior and always right, and the other is inferior and always a threat. Their legacies will still be there. It's not going anywhere. Their impacts are never going away. Their story is never gone. Even when King Henry VIII, being a punk baby, tried to erase anything to do with Anne Boleyn, her name still lives on. Her memory is still going strong. All these people are still going to be known as they are because we kept their legacies alive through multiple avenues besides film and TV adaptations. We kept their names alive through books, articles, online communities, and interpersonal relationships. Like, I'm not worried about Brad Pitt playing like MLK or anything of the sort because 98% of Black households have a MLK portrait somewhere in their house. I'm not worried about it. We still know how to keep so many things alive for thousands of years, and it's not going to stop. And verifying information is literally a couple of buttons on your phone or a simple drive to your nearest bookstore. Cause I'm sorry, we're like in 2021, you have your phone. All the information is literally in your hand, and if you're not taking it, then I don't know what to tell you. The series made a controversial choice, and you have all the rights in the world to criticize or agree with it, because that's what happens when you make art. You're going to have supporters and haters. The show did its thing, it lived its truth, and it is up to the individual. Everyone involved in the show shoot their shot. Me personally, I think it was worth a shot. And after all that, nothing has changed. Everything is getting worse. Everything is awful. The world is on fire. And I think that's it. We made it. God, what a journey. It was beautiful. It was everything I hoped it would be, and so much more. Oh, Lord have mercy. If you want more content like this, then please subscribe, leave a comment, hit the bell for notification, and watch all my other videos. They're fun, I swear. I'm going to the Princess Ball to drink wine and sashay in a glittery gown, cause aesthetics. See you later.